Okay, so sitting here in my car, thinking, oh yeah, got something to show you. So while I was in the halfway house, I managed to get a few books published and stuff. One of which is the New American Home Guard Anti-Terrorist Survival Manual. Now, while I talk about terrorism and I discuss, a multitude of different survival situations, this is a paramilitary training manual, a tactical training manual, if you will. I hate that term tactical. It's something the cops came up with to define, the paramilitary training they use. And since I was actually in the military, I prefer the term paramilitary. Basically, I'm on the same line as these tactical guys. We use the same tactics. The thing is, when you're talking about being tactical, you have to understand that your tactics are dictated by your terrain. So you're going to use different tactics for different situations. People talk about the gray man. The gray man is nothing more than a tactic of camouflage. There are scenarios where being camouflaged is more important than looking like a hard target, or properly referred to as a force deterrent. This book explains a lot of that. Even covers nuclear war survival training, hand-to-hand combat. In fact, reading from the back of it, it deals with criminal assaults and hand-to-hand self-defense combatives, basic precautions for you and your family to survive in the coming chaos that will grip America. We're already seeing this economic fucking meltdown starting, and civil fucking disobedience, lockdown on guns, and trying to make it harder for people to get access to certain things, even technologies. It covers wilderness and urban survival. It even covers tactics to defend yourself against a socialist/terrorist threat. I mentioned a socialist threat because people don't realize that socialism requires a sort of violent action to overthrow the capitalist regime and to install their perfect socialist utopia. And there's more. And then speaking of the nuclear war stuff, I also have Survival Methods of the Mole People. This is a book on building bunkers and living underground. I actually mentioned how to use the green energy initiatives that the Democrats are pushing to get your home off the grid, and how to attach your home to your bunker system to keep the bunker all covert and shit. And I even mentioned using a cul-de-sac as an example, small term, or a gated community, so that everyone in the community has their off-grid utilities, and they have their bunker system, and everyone within the community can defend the community. And if worst case scenario, they simply leave your house, go into the bunker, which is probably in like your backyard or something. Mostly I dealt a lot with how to defend your bunker, precautions for doing so, and even include the old government manuals from back in the day when they were doing the preparedness manuals for the Cold War, and they thought nuclear war was, going to come at any moment. Speaking of which, a lot of people are saying that now. So, I want you to think about that. Now, I know there's a certain guy out there who practices Kintaro, the Mortal Kombat sub-boss martial arts shit, bought himself a trophy and claims I have no credentials or nothing to back up the stuff I write about. Well, here's the thing. I was in the Army. He admits this. I was honorably discharged. He admits this. I was a hand-to-hand combat instructor in the Army. He admits this. I was a fire team leader in the Army. He admits this. So I have paramilitary training, and I've had training in nuclear, biological, chemical, and I've had training in repairing and making weapons. I've had training in tactics. I've had training in a lot of areas that I'm outlining in these books. The fact that I was a hand-to-hand combat instructor, and this guy says that I have no credentials and I have no rank in anything, which, shows that I know anything about what I'm doing. Well, you got to wonder, if I was a hand-to-hand combat instructor teaching something that was based off my knowledge to supplement the Army's Generation 1 Modern Army Combatives Program, which is now currently what is being marketed as the Gracie Combatives Program. In that case, you have to set back and think. You have to sit back and wonder, exactly how much does this guy actually know about what he's saying? But then again, maybe that's just a pot calling the kettle black type of situation because, well, he's a black belt, fucking a Mortal Kombat sub-boss.
And in Ron's case, since the late 90s, that thing was martial arts. Over the years, he's been remarkably consistent in the claims that he made about the various black belt ranks he supposedly earned.
Bruh, you got an orange belt with black stripes. What do you mean?
And he started training as a toddler and all this other stuff. It was all nonsense. The guy has almost no training at all.
That's facts.
And he has no valid ranks. By valid, I mean he has no ranks that weren't gifted to him by someone else who also has a dodgy reputation.
You bought yourself a trophy for a Willem Reeder's orange belt. Fuck out of here, guy.
So, but martial arts became the crutch whereon he leaned to distract him from what is arguably an unremarkable life.
Jesus, he just said that unironically in front of a whole wall full of fucking ninja swords. You gotta be kidding me.
To expect someone to let go of that fantasy is asking a lot, and we'll come to that.
Let go of that pizza and ice cream. You're fucking enormous.
And as you can see, other people really don't put much stock in the claims of some fat guy who claims he's too deadly to spar and has, trophies he made for himself for getting black belts in martial arts with dodgy reputations. Here's the point. Your sources have to have some sort of measurable amount of skill. Now, in my 20s, before I suffered massive injuries and, stopped training and everything else for a long time, I was, I was pretty good. Good enough that I got an award for being a hand-to-hand combat instructor. Good enough that I was made a company-level hand-to-hand combat instructor. So, I want people to think about that. I'm going to put the paperwork up for my awards paperwork right here for everyone to see.